Walking behind Helena Cravar is the king, Gordon Ryan, as well as the mastermind, John Danaher. 16 years old, Eddie Bravo, is Helena Cravar, a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I don't think we're talking about your typical blue belt by any means when talking about Helena Cravar.
Yeah, you know, in this sport, you're seeing it a lot over and over. 16, 17, 18-year-old phenoms win in Abu Dhabi, win in EBI. It's not that uncommon, you know. If you start doing jiu-jitsu when you're 2 or 3, like the Mutolo brothers, you know, by the time you're 16, you're a seasoned black belt. And you got that young blood, you know what I mean? That young blood that's a difference maker.
Let's take a look at the tail to tape for this singles matchup. It is a 16-year-old Helena Cravar. She weighed in at 140 pounds, as did her 21-year-old opponent, Emily Fernandez. For our official introductions of this match, here is Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next match is a women's 140-pound catchweight no-gi singles match, scheduled for 10 minutes plus overtime. Introducing to you first, in the blue corner, with an official weight of 140 pounds, claiming second in the 2022 AJP Abu Dhabi World Pro and the 2021 IBJJF Pan Championship champion, Emily Fernandez. And in the red corner, with an official weight of 140 pounds, she is the 2022 5 Grappling Nevada 6 Adult Champion and the 2021 Grappling Industries Las Vegas Advanced Champion, Helena Crevar. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Victor Davila.
Helena, you ready? Emily, you ready? Timer ready?
Jiu-jitsu.
We are underway. Helena Cravar, the 16-year-old John Danaher and Gordon Ryan student, taking on Emily Fernandez. DJ DeSantis, Eddie Bravo, Michael Chiesa.
This one's going to be nuts. Both these girls are among the best female jiu-jitsu practitioners on the plane.
And for Helena, at 16 years old, I mean, she, as the late, great Stuart Scott would say, she looks about as cool as the other side of the pillow right now. She doesn't look to be too shook by the bright lights here at FPI.
Yeah, she loves the pressure. She's a born competitor. You could tell. I mean, she's been fighting all over the place, and all I remember is her winning. I don't remember her losing anything.
I saw some people online commenting about her blue belt. You're not able to get a blue belt until you're 16 years old. So I don't know if they just want her to go to purple belt or what the...
Yeah, that's an asterisk in jiu-jitsu. You could have been training since you were 2, you know, and get all the kid color belts, green, orange, yellow, all that stuff. And then when you're 16, you're eligible to get a blue belt. But that blue belt is really more like a brown or black if you've been training hard and competing since you were 3, 4, 5.
And having the success that she's had. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a black belt level competitor, to say the least.
Yeah. She loves leg locks. Oh, man, she's just all over the legs. Super calm, very patient, relentless. I've never seen her tired. She seems like she must be running sprints daily.
And on a side note, I'm looking across the way at her corner, and John Danaher in his trademark rash guard, and Gordon Ryan looking like he runs a biker gang. He does. He looks like he belongs on an episode of West Coast Customs.
There it is. She's sitting back. She's got a little, looked like she was going for an Aoki lock.
Two-on-one on that right arm of Emily Fernandez.
You know, and for Emily, I think she would prefer to be on her back. She's got that closed guard. She does that body triangle. She likes to attack that Kimura. She likes to attack the triangles and arm bars. I think that she's going to struggle a little bit with Helena having to fight from the top position.
Yeah, they both want to pull guard, you know. And a lot of that comes from passing from scratch, meaning someone's on their butt and someone's standing like this. Right here, Emily would be passing from scratch. That's impossible on some of the top jiu-jitsu players out there. So that's why everyone's double guard pulling, because it's easier to pass off a sweep than it is passing from scratch. Because if you can sweep someone, there's that window where that pass is available. And I mean, that's what I do in my game. I'm always pulling guard because I'm trying to pass guard. It's way easier to pass in the sweep than it is from scratch. That's why they both want. That's why you see a lot of the top gi guys. They're doing double guard pulls because they're trying to pass. Because passing from scratch on some of these guys is impossible. Like the Meow twins, how are you going to pass their guards?
Gosh,
Rafa Mendes, how are you going to pass his guard?
Rafa Mendes has one of the best guards.
How are you going to? So, but the only way to pass is through sweeps. That's why there's all these guard pull.
That makes sense.
Back to the 2-on-1 this time on the left arm of Fernandez.
So far, Emily doing an excellent job at just stuffing all of Helena's attempts and setups. She's more on the defensive side for sure than Helena, but she's doing a good job at surviving and countering at this point. But Helena is relentless. She's just going to keep pushing, just like Big Dan earlier. He went after leg locks over and over. They weren't working, and then finally he got in deep and it worked.
Very interesting exchange.
Good defense. Good defense. Helena's still coming forward. Helena's still trying to set up those attacks.
Looking at these two athletes, you have Cravar with the long pants on. What does that do for her leg attack, when she's trying to attack the bare-skinned legs of Fernandez?
Well, if they both had shorts on, if they both had bare skin, once the sweat set in, it's a lot harder to pull off a leg lock because you could pull out and use the sweat. When one of the competitors is wearing pants, that dies down a little bit, the grease factor. But some of these spats are just as slick as greasy legs. It depends on the material. If you wear gi pants, like I like wearing gi pants, it's very hard to slip out of leg locks when you have pants on, but at the same time it's hard for your opponent to slip out of your stuff. So it's a trade-off. You want more offense, less defense, or you want more defense, less offense. Most jiu-jitsu competitors, they prefer more defense than offense. That's why they go with the greasy legs. A lot easier to get out of leg locks.
Looking for the foot lock right there.
Some guys even shave their legs and put a little cocoa butter on it.
Remember Greasegate? GSP versus BJ Penn? I've been talking about BJ Penn all night, but remember Greasegate?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Penn,
yeah.
GSP?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the grease gates go way back. Like back in Brazil, the Luta Livre guys would grease up whenever they would fight jiu-jitsu guys. Right here is a good. She got a good bite on that neck.
Very nice
good
bite on that
bite
neck.
on that neck. This could be it right here. This could be it.
Oh, she's cinching up that left arm.
This could be it. She's got good position. Even if she gets out of this choke, she's got top position.
She might have it.
If she could establish a mount. She's on her now.
She's trying to belly out now.
Okay, it's probably over now at this point. She's gonna stay on top. She's gonna try to transition to the back. She's very good on the back.
She's got that 3/4 mount right now
Yeah.
with the legs stapled down. I love that staple. Keeping them turned away, especially if it's MMA, opens up so many opportunities for ground
There's
and pound.
back takes from there too that I do, like
Like
3/4
that?
mounts huge.
Like that one?
Yeah.
On cue.
Look at this. She it could be over here. Very few people escape this. She's so good on the back.
Stay like that. I'm gonna drag you.
Victor Davila telling Cravar to maintain her position as he pulls the competitors back to the center of the mat.
Put that in super slow-mo on a promo right there.
Right?
Oh, it's a wrap. This one's a wrap. No way she can escape this.
Well, you got to do more to defend than just bring your hand into the crook.
Yeah,
you got to fight she's not fighting the top hand.
No, she's not even trying to open up the legs. That's
No.
over. It's over.
You got to fight the top hand.
There's the tap. It is done. Helena Cravar gets a rear naked choke in regulation. She shines tonight under the bright lights inside the UFC Apex. To make this one official, we go to Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 7 minutes, 26 seconds, referee Victor Davila calls a stop to the match for your winner by submission via rear naked choke, Helena Crevar.
I'm with the winner, Helena Cravar. Helena, you had such a calmness about you tonight. Is there anything about the bright lights that shook you as you made your debut for FPI?
This was my first high-level match, and I'm really happy that I was able to get the submission. It's really a different atmosphere, but I love it. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite shows I've been to.
Well, it was a very enjoyable match for all of us. How much do you attribute your success to the move over to New Wave and having Coach John Danaher and Gordon Ryan in your corner tonight?
Oh, it's been amazing. I feel like I've improved so much in my leg attacks, finishing from the back, and really the support of Professor John and Gordon. It's been amazing, and I'm really thankful to them.
Well, it was a great match. I look forward to seeing your future. Congratulations. Everybody give it up for Helena Cravar.
Good job. That was awesome. Helena Cravar getting it done. Rear naked choke submission over Emily Fernandez in regulation. She shines tonight here in Las Vegas. Ladies will take the match tonight to kick off FPI 7 for a bout scheduled at 145 pounds. We will see Helena Cravar representing New Wave Jiu-Jitsu. She takes on Arielle Laverne. For our introductions of our first match, we go to Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 7, live from the UFC Apex, Las Vegas, Nevada. Our first match is a women's featherweight no-gi singles match, scheduled for 8 minutes plus overtime. Introducing to you first, in the blue corner, with an official weight of 144 pounds, she is a 2024 IBJJF European champion out of Six Blades Jiu-Jitsu, French Guiana, Aurélie Laverne. And in the red corner, with an official weight of 145 pounds, she is a 2024 ADCC East and West Coast champion out of New Wave Jiu-Jitsu, Austin, Texas, Helena Crevar. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Jason Herzog.
Jason Herzog getting this assignment, our first match of the UFC Fight Pass Invitational stage. It is Helena Cravar taking on Aurélie Laverne. Cravar in the long black pants, Laverne in the shorts. Scheduled for 8 minutes regulation with a 4-minute overtime if we go that far.
Helena getting into her closed guard game right away. She's so good right here. It's been incredible to watch her progress over the last, I mean, really even just the last year, Gordon. I know somebody you get to train with all the time, so you get to actually watch this progress. She's starting to try to set up an arm lock already.
Oh, yeah. Well, last time I trained with her, after the match, Marigali was like, he's like, who had a harder match between you two? And I was like huffing and puffing, and she was like perfectly fine. And like training with her is like training with like a really good guy. It's like incredible how fast she's progressing.
Cravar digging this Kimura on the left side of Laverne.
Yeah, and she's attacked with a couple of different sweeping options already. Tried to go to the ankle, created a good off balance, thought about a hip bump, Kimura combo. Now she'll sit back, and Laverne digging in on those grips.
You know, on paper, it's a blue belt versus a black belt, but Helena Cravar, Gordon, not your typical blue belt by any means.
No, I mean, she's won both the trials. Oh, good attack. Well, Helena comes on top, but gets countered with a normal plata.
Yeah, this is a strong attack. I mean, she's responding pretty well, steps all the way over, and she's going to counter. This is really nice work. We'll probably see her step the rest of the way over, but it looks like Laverne's going to try to turn it into a single. Nice job sprawling her hips out of there for Cravar.
Nice job by Helena getting the top. Now she's going to look to force half guard. She's over that knee already. She's chest to chest. She's got a cross face, and now it's just a matter of working towards.
A lot of time to work here as well as we get reset.
Ready? Fight.
Look for Helena to start to either go in for darks or guillotine or punch that underhook in there. She goes to that underhook now. Now she'll switch back to crossface maybe, if she can. And she's got her knee to the floor. She's 90% of the way into a pass now.
Yeah, it looks like Vern wants to try to swing into a deep half, but with that underhook in place, it just makes it, I mean, you're just not going to be able to dig in there and get that deep half situation built.
Cravar, early in her jiu-jitsu journey, Gordon, how important is it for a young athlete to get opportunities on a stage like this?
I mean, I tell all the up-and-coming guys, compete as much as you can. I was competing like every weekend, coming up into, even well into black belt. And Helena competes like almost literally every weekend. So just getting the experience and learning how to compete before you have to fight the best guys in the world is super, super important in my opinion.
Vern's got to be really careful here. She's committed to the deep half, but the arm is trapped. Helena's going to try to slip out and maybe pull into a rear triangle situation.
Yeah, if she loses that ankle, she could be in trouble here because the head and the arm are isolated.
There it goes.
But
switching off to a Kimura. She can break these grips. She's going to flip her with this arm lock attack maybe.
Nice job. It looks like she can't tell if she has both arms. She has both arms in there, it looks like.
Yeah.
So she just has a top lock from guard from here. She's going to transition to the arm bar. They're getting close to the edge. It'll be interesting to see how the restarts affect everything.
Just right there. Thank you.
Aurelie responds well. That was a good response to that attack.
Stop, don't move.
Nice
So
job.
she ends
Nice
up
escape.
basically using the deep half to get on top.
Yeah, that was good.
Ready?
Did a good job of staying calm under pressure. She was starting to get a little sketchy there when the head and arm started to get isolated, but she stayed calm and managed to use it as a sweep.
Halfway point here of regulation. Go ahead, Vivek.
Helena's so good with attacking with the arm lock attempts from her closed guard. Every time that she gets into that situation, Vern lets her shoulders get a little bit narrow, and Helena throws up an attack. But Vern's looking, she's looking pretty good so far. Really tight matchup, back and forth, trading positions from top to bottom, both athletes. Nice.
Vern's doing a really good job of recognizing danger before it actually gets to a critical point, and just immediately pulling out of positions that could end up dangerous for her.
I'm going to get a reset here in the center of the mat.
Good. Ready? Fight.
Back underway.
Nice grip behind the elbow. She wants to bring Vern's elbow across the center line. And she's just trading it back and forth, attacking this guillotine, hip bump, Kimura, trap. And then every time the posture comes back down, she gets behind the elbow and starts looking to lock the shoulders, hunting for arm bars. She's going to try to lock the elbow again here. You'll see that hand go behind the elbow, tries to bring it to the middle, wants to lock the shoulder or maybe even drag the arm all the way across. See if she can cut the angle here.
Vern's doing a good job keeping posture and standing up, is what she should be doing to look to open the guard. But the second she stands up every time, Helena immediately starts moving into grips in the legs and sitting her down to her butt or entering into the legs. So.
Ooh, got to be careful.
Nice
here.
heist by Helena. That was beautiful.
All the way into the mount. Excellent.
She used that heist from a seated guard to come up into a front head and then swept right into mount. Now she's got 2.5 minutes to make something happen, so.
Vern trying to use her feet to uncross the feet of Cravar. She's turning up to her side. Got to be super careful here.
Vern tried to recover her half guard, but her elbow came across the center line, and she got that arm isolated. And a figure four back had an arm, and then subsequently got her back taken from there.
Nice transition here for Helena Cravar on the back. Just under 2 minutes remain here.
Helena trying to save the angle, wants to drag the head back across.
Full body triangle for Helena. This is about the best position she can ask for in these last 2 minutes.
Body triangle's locked on the bottom side. It used to be you would hear people talk about how that was the wrong side, but you see that used a lot now. What do you feel about the advantages to top side versus bottom side with the body triangle?
There are always, I mean, they're both great positions. The problem when you have your legs locked on the bottom side is that it's harder to trap arms because all the weight is on the body triangle, so it's much harder to trap your partner's arms with your legs because all of your body weight and your opponent's body weight is on the body triangle. So you don't really have to worry too much about submissions like those ankle locks that people do. If you're just pushing the person's back, it negates that completely, but it is harder to trap your partner's arm effectively to break through to a strangle.
Inside the final minute of regulation.
Nice shot. She's going to take a run at it right there. Laverne created a decent defensive angle for herself. She's blocking across the face, though. She's going to try to grind it out. Nice survival skill.
Yeah, and she's halfway to an escape here.
She needs to pull that left elbow back across.
Helena's got to look to build up to her elbow and build height from here. If she builds up to her left elbow from this position, she can get back behind Laverne, but she didn't do so, and Laverne rotated back on top. Nice escape. Nicely done.
Yeah, Laverne, really impressive work so far tonight. I mean, definitely Helena has had her on the back foot and been the more offensive player. She's had more looks for sure, but Laverne's made a good account for herself tonight.
Yeah, very defensively sound for sure.
Final few moments here of regulation. And we are headed to overtime. In overtime, that point system comes into play. What do you expect the strategy and output to look like, Gordon, in this overtime period with points now in play?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Helena she's known as a guard player, but she's been working a lot on her wrestling, so it's going to be interesting to see how she comes out to play.
Let's take a look at some of the action. Gordon, walk us through.
So Helena pulls guard here. She almost actually hits a sumigashi butterfly sweep right to top position, but ends up in closed guard. And when she does actually sweep, Laverne counters beautifully with an omoplata, but Helena countered the counter and stepped over and ended up in a situation where she can almost pass. Then she uses that kimura to try to go in and take Laverne's back, but she built height from there. That made it hard. And Laverne's doing a great job of standing up and trying to open the closed guard, but every time she does so, Helena just has such sticky grips in the leg. She most of the time sits her down to her butt, and then it makes it difficult for Laverne. And then here you have Helena on the back and body triangle locked in. She almost had the angle that she needed, but the angle was a little bit off, and Laverne turned inside and escaped beautifully.
For your overtime, there will be points now awarded, okay? Don?
All right, time for overtime.
Ready? Fight!
We are underway. 4-minute overtime period for these ladies. And again, points in play.
On the mat.
Yeah, so our regulation period is a submission-only period. The only thing that can happen is you can accrue negative points. Look at this play here by Helena. But in the overtime period, points are in play. And pretty simple scoring system here. Everything's kind of going 2 and 4.
Nice job getting the 2 ankles by Helena. Now she can either use it to sweep or enter into the legs, which she looks like she's going to go into the legs from here. But she needs to get 2 legs inside of Laverne's legs.
She's setting up that Aoki lock over here on this side. Nice. Good choice,
And
using it to go to the top. And again with that omoplata.
Omoplata, she's doing a good job countering with that. Even if she does get swept, she ends up in a situation where she could potentially get a submission.
Just so hard to hang on to an omoplata and no gi.
Yeah. I mean, they're not super sweaty, and
nice
job, but Helena's a little bit high from here. She could fall at the top. If Laverne 4 points, and she's got a little bit too high, fell at the top and ended up back in bottom position.
Yeah, they're going to score the sweep there for Laverne.
For Cravar.
Yeah, I said it wrong. Thanks for the correction. Sorry.
Because she did come on top.
Yeah.
Vern getting aggressive here, trying to grab a hold of the right arm of Cravar.
She's going to have to get the game moving a little bit. She's behind. If she wants to try to...
And you see she's trying to heist up here. Helena did a good job keeping her down. Helena looking to pressure forward, get over that knee, or force her into a position where she can stack her. Helena pummels that right hand inside. She can force her into half guard because she's over the bottom knee, but she wants to look to start walking around the corner like that. Beautiful. Now Lavern's smart from here. She's looking to wrestle back up to her feet to avoid a pass.
That's right. In this rule set, the scoring, you have to hold the position. Basically, you have to have everything in place for 3 seconds before you get the points. So she did pass around the guard, but because Laverne popped up, they didn't give her the points for the pass. And then right back to the feet, and now Helena has to pull.
Nice tactical decision by Laverne to not concede passing points.
2 points back take, 2 points. You're taking away 2 points back. Okay, adjusting? So are you adjusting the time? Yeah? So 0. 0, 0. You two ready?
Oh, that's interesting.
Ready? Ready? Fight!
So they took the points away from Helena, so now it's 0-0, so now it'll be interesting. But at this point, Helena's bound to be winning a decision.
Yeah, she's been the aggressor throughout the regulation and overtime period.
She's on the bottom of a double unders pass right now. She's weaving over the right arm of Laverne. She'll try to pull that back in or maybe at least use it to stuff the pass. Laverne gets her knee to the inside, and she's trying the same pass that Cravar used on her earlier.
And I believe they took away those points because as she swept, Laverne had a submission. So the count doesn't start until the submissions, until there's no more threat of a submission. And she used the omoplata even though she was swept to give the threat of a submission. So I'm pretty sure that's why they took those points away.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I like that we got so much jiu-jitsu experience. I've got 3 lifetimes of jiu-jitsu experience over there on the sideline making those calls. So they're going to go back and make sure they got it right. And here's a heel hook attempt from Laverne.
Nice attempt, but the knee is free now.
10 seconds remain here in overtime.
She wants to try to sweep with it here at the last second, try to build up base.
Time.
Overtime expires.
Good
no
scrap.
Points on the board, so we will go to a judge's decision. Not something we see very often with this rule set. Usually by this point we have somebody ahead in points, but I don't think this is going to be too suspenseful here as we saw Cravar clearly the aggressor. Take a look at the replay, walk us through.
So you see Helena trying to step into that guard pass. She came in off the double unders pass, and then she turned the corner, but as she turned the corner, Laverne turtles up, slides Helena off to the bottom position. And then here she is, as they come back to the feet, she goes double overs, and she sits in, well, yeah, this is it. I thought she was going to sit in and try to flip her right there. She did that earlier, or maybe a little after that during the match. It'd be interesting to see how they score it, though. I feel like Laverne, pretty much all of the offense that Helena presented, especially during the points period, Laverne was able to meet her technique for technique, but she got her back taken for quite a good period of the regulation portion. So that's probably going to tilt everything her way.
Yeah, and Helena was the initiator of a lot of the attacks as well. A lot of the attacks that Laverne had were counters to either sweeps or counters to where Helena tried to go for submissions, and then she ended back up on top. So I think Helena, being the initiator, is gonna have a heavy weight here.
The main criteria for our judges to determine a winner, it's effective aggression and progression towards finishing sequences. And credit to Laverne, you know, she definitely showed why she's a black belt out there. But
she had a couple of strong omoplata attacks.
Absolutely. All right. Let's make this one official. We go to Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, after overtime, we have your winner by judge's decision, Helena Cravar.
Helena Cravar getting the judge's decision tonight to kick off the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 7. Another win for the young blue belt. She gets it done here in Las Vegas. Maggie Grandati Lira, 32 years old, representing Lira Jiu-Jitsu and Autos Jiu-Jitsu. She takes on the 18-year-old New Wave product in Helena Cravar. For our official introductions, we go to Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next match is a women's 145-pound no-gi singles match, scheduled for 6 minutes plus overtime. Introducing to you first, in the blue corner, with an official weight of 144 pounds, Out of New Wave Jiu-Jitsu, Austin, Texas, Helena Cravar. And in the red corner, with an official weight of 144 pounds, out of Lira and Atos Jiu-Jitsu, Miami, Florida, Maggie Grindadi Lira. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Vitor Shaolin.
Helena Cravar,
Let's fight.
Maggie Grindada Lira, TJ DeSantis, BMAC, Brandon McCatherine, along with Michael Chiesa tonight inside the Apex for the FPI. Cravar taking a seat early.
You know, and right away, I know both of these ladies weighed in at 144 pounds, but it looks to me that Grindadi Lira might be at a little bit of a size disadvantage. Cravar looks a little more filled out.
Maggie trying to commit to this knee cut pass. Helena doing a good job of keeping her off balance. And that's really one of Helena's, I would say, her best strengths. She uses her guard positions to off balance so well and uses that to enter the legs. Already she's biting on an outside heel hook. It's not quite there yet, but a couple of adjustments will have it done.
Yeah, the best way to describe it is she uses her guard to essentially pop the clutch on her opponents. For those of you that don't know what popping a clutch is, for the younger generation, there used to be there used to be a thing called a manual transmission where you had to drive with a stick shift and a clutch, and when you popped the clutch, the car jumped and would stall. So ultimately, when I say pop the clutch, trying to stall the offense and the movements of Grindadi Lira.
And check this out, she's using this calf slicer style position to try to move around to the back. Definitely possible to get a submission from this position. I mean, we saw Charles Oliveira get a tap with that in the UFC. Putting a lot of pressure.
And the knees to the side. Usually the heel's much more closer to the glute, and the foot is off to the side, I should say.
Oh, grimacing now attacking the neck here is Cravar. There's the tap, nicely done, Helena Cravar. Doing big things here in Las Vegas. Gets a submission over Maggie Grindadi Lira. Wow. Just a brown belt.
Yeah.
Shines tonight like a superstar. Crazy to think that she still has room to grow.
Just a brown belt.
Yeah.
That was incredible. This reminded me of Roman Dolidze versus Jack Hermanson. Turned that calf slicer into a situation where she was able to attack two submissions at once. That was just incredible. Look at this. As she gets to that calf slicer, usually the foot is closer to the glute, and the foot is stuck off to the side, which is putting a lot of torque on the knee. And look at the way she's able to free her hands and get to the choke. Once she frees her hands, she's able to arch her hips, and you can see Grindadi Lira starting to grimace from the pain. Look at the knees off to the side. She straps in the choke. And to me, I think it was more the pain from the distending of the knee than the choke on the neck. But her getting the lock on her neck enabled her to really arch her hips into her and create just a very, very painful submission.
Solid stuff for Helena Cravar. To make this one official, we go to Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Vitor Shaolin calls a stop to the match for your winner by submission via calf slicer, Helena Cravar.
All right, I'm going to be joined here by Helena Cravar. Helena, congratulations. So we've seen you a couple of times out here. Every time it's exciting. Every time it's an incredible finish. That might have been your most incredible finish so far. Did you expect to see the match play out that way?
Yeah, I was definitely looking for a submission. I've been working on like my calf slicers, like not just focusing on heel hooks and ankle locks. So I'm really glad to have finished it. It was one of the submissions I was like envisioning for the match. So I'm glad it played out.
Yeah, it played out beautifully and created an incredible highlight. Everybody's going to see that one. So as you look out across the rest of this UFC Fight Pass Invitational roster, what do you think is next for you? Is there somebody in particular that you want to have a matchup with? You want that title? What's going on?
Definitely would like to go for the title at either 145 or 155. Not really like a specific opponent, but...
Not even maybe a Raquel Canuto?
Yeah, I'd be open to that match. I think it would be great because I believe we both have 3 wins at the UFC now. So it would be definitely an amazing match for the title.
All right, you want to take on the hometown hero? Listen, we love watching you, and we will be watching the rest of your career with great interest. Ladies and gentlemen, Helena Cravar.
A star on the rise, Helena Cravar doing big things, picking up another win here at the UFC Fight Pass Invitational. There's someone who knows all about winning at the highest level. Tatiana Suarez in attendance tonight. Always great to see her.